phone.
Well, morning glory and hallelujah, everybody. It is the morning after with Nick and Big J. Welcome to Thursday. Welcome to the 6th day of March, 2025. My name is Nick, and I present to you Big J. Big J, hi.
Hello.
Hi, Big J.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. What are you doing today, buddy?
Hanging out.
Oh, nice. Must be nice.
I mean, you know what I'm doing. You know most of my schedule for the day.
I actually don't. I
Well,
know two
here,
things.
Got a meeting,
Okay.
working some more, and then we have a movie podcast that fills up most of the day.
Sure, but you have a whole evening to look forward to. What does that entail?
I mean, by the time I get home, it's not much of the evening left.
I mean, sure there is. The movie's not like in the early afternoon. What are you talking
Sure,
about?
hour and a half, and then a podcast that we do,
So
and
that's
then
2
I
hours
get home.
at
That's
5.
20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, there's still plenty of
Bedtime's
evening
2
left.
hours away, bro.
Oh, that's right. I forget. You go to bed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I want to get good sleep.
Yeah, well, listen, it's not that I don't try. I can't. My body just will not let me go to bed at 8 o'clock.
Well, you're a loser.
Lay there and toss and turn for 2 hours, 2.5 sometimes, and then what's the point? But whatever you're doing today, I hope it's as fun and as action-packed as Big J's day is, and maybe we can make it a little bit better with some Kill Switch Engage tickets. That's going to happen a couple times over today. We have an opportunity for Big J to give you a nerd alert. We are going to take full advantage of that. We also have a chance to go to hell. That's going to be a good time. Got some headlines coming up for you. That should be good as well. All in all, pretty happy that it's Thursday, Big J. The Friday's almost here. Any big weekend plans?
Well, I got to finish up those papers. Oh, man.
Hey, isn't drawing it out even worse?
No, I just haven't had the opportunity. And then, I made a mistake, apparently. My grade would have been reversed had the wife known I was putting the papers in a place she didn't want me to put them. We had a miscommunication, so I got to move them all.
So you had an A, it would have been an F?
No,
I don't. Failure to listen?
I don't want to come up with the correct grade. But she's going to be gone for this weekend. She's going to Montana. So, yeah, I got to knock that out and try to get the rest of that done.
Listen, list that back on Facebook Marketplace and see if you can get somebody else over there to do that.
No, thank you.
Take care of it for you.
No.
And then boss them
I'm
around,
gonna do it.
Supervise, tell them where it goes, just point, sit in a little lounge chair and drink a little fancy drink.
I could never live with myself in doing that.
You say that, but you
No, they're absolutely not.
Why? You
sitting
had a
in a chair while other people are working and just sitting there and watching them and tell them what to do?
No, not one. But I mean, you do
Hire
that.
somebody to do something. Yeah, I can do that.
But you don't.
But I'm not
going to
sit around and lord over them like some sort of whack job.
No, that's insane. But it'd be funny. It's going to be a good show today. Hang on. We got ourselves some Offspring kicking things off here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J on the X-Rocks.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Central District Health, Big J, the CDH. You're familiar with the work they do. We talked about it yesterday. They have officially issued a warning to the public here in the Treasure Valley because they had a rash of food poisoning complaints associated with unlicensed food vendors, Big J. So health officials yesterday want to make sure people are aware that if they get invited to, quote, underground restaurants, those are restaurants that are like pop-up restaurants that open up out of residential kitchens and advertise their food on social media in the Treasure Valley. You know, maybe it's for meal planning or whatever. Apparently, the CDH said customers should exercise caution when purchasing that particular food because they are concerned about how they control their food temperature-wise for safety. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I think there's an assumption on our part that those people are certified and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, they're not just cooking food out of their dirty kitchen, but
right,
in some
like
cases
if
they are.
I tried to cook something and brought it out to people, be horrified.
That's not true. You keep it a clean house.
I would do my best, but I don't know the rules and all of those things, and neither do some of the people doing this stuff.
When selling food, there are proper refrigeration, particular specifics that you have to keep, including the way that you store dairy, eggs, meat, beans, pasta, custards, vegetables, fruit, etc. And these unlicensed food vendors are selling these foods without proper licenses and sometimes Cross-contamination is happening, allergic reactions are happening, and in a lot of cases, not proper food storage is going down, and it's making a bunch of people sick. And so they're just saying, hey, exercise caution. Now, the Central District Health emphasized that its goal is public safety. They're not trying to go in and storm businesses and shut things down. Nobody wants to shut down somebody's meal prep service. They're just saying, hey. Maybe give it a second thought and understand what you're getting into.
And some of them that you might be using might be certified.
Oh, 100%.
But you should probably do a little more investigation.
Yeah. Just make sure you know who you're buying from and that things maybe are on the up and up there so that you yourself or somebody in your family don't get sick. Because, again, I'll say it. Foodborne illnesses suck, man.
Yeah.
Getting a really bad case of food poisoning will ruin a week. It
clean
is
you out.
not great. You do not want those things. A lot of people say, who cares? But it's not fun.
I'll tell you who cares.
Huh?
Your toilet.
All right. You talk to your toilet, buddy?
Yeah. It's like my best bud.
Oh, no. The KFC restaurant chain is doing something interesting, Big J. They're teaming up with the NFL to open Pittsburgh Steelers-themed restaurants in Mexico.
Huh?
I know. Something's weird with KFC.
I know the Pittsburgh Steelers, got a lot of fans around the world. But
Sure. Mexico is a weird choice. KFC being the official restaurant of the Pittsburgh Steelers, a weird choice. But then again, they're moving to Texas, so I think all bets are off with Kentucky Fried Chicken. These unique KFC locations are decked in black and gold, complete with Steelers memorabilia and jerseys. This makes sense because the Steelers, along with the Cowboys, have the largest number of fans in Mexico for several decades. Still a weird choice to me. Like, maybe it's a weird restaurant choice. I don't know why you would have a restaurant that is named for a separate state entirely, represent the state of Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh.
They're not even nothing to do with Kentucky anymore.
I guess. They don't even call themselves Kentucky Fried Chicken anymore. Just KFC. They don't even want you to say the long-form version of their name. It is like...
the Colonel's pissed at his grave rolling around.
He shall not be named. But yeah, so if you're a Steelers fan, maybe you head down to Mexico on a resort trip and take a couple pictures at the Pittsburgh Steelers-themed KFC restaurants while stuffing down one of their bowls, Big J, that are slopped around in gravy and having a good time. What do you think?
I love it.
All right.
Yum, yum.
Big J, looks like Scream 7 is just going to be one big reunion. As we know, Matthew Lillard is coming back. We know that Nev Campbell's coming back. We know that Courtney Cox is coming back. And now we know that David Arquette's character, Dewey Riley, will also come back in Scream number 7. Why is this weird, Big J? Well, he was killed off in the last installment. Again, so was Matthew Lillard in the first one, although you argued that he wasn't. But
we did. Well, I mean, we don't know for sure, though. TV did land on his head.
And he was bleeding out and all sorts of stuff. But Dewey Riley definitely died in the last one, so maybe they're coming back as Force ghosts. That's my they're like visions or something for Nev Campbell. That's my guess. But who knows if it's something else. Details of his revival and plot remain undisclosed. You don't want to ruin for you anyway. But a bunch of people that are dead from other Screams are coming back to Scream 7, which at the very least is somewhat interesting. Agree or disagree?
I mean, how they pull that off, very.
Yeah. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your first round of important stuff. It is the X Rock.
Here's traffic inside the TDS Fiber.
That is Smashing Pumpkins. That is Disarm here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Usually it's not a big deal, Big J, but for me it's a Herculean task. But I
go to a public restroom.
No, not quite. But it's up there as some of the most difficult things I've ever did. I think I told you the other day that I officially made a first purchase off of TikTok. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, I vaguely remember something. Yeah.
I had purchased.
How? You have TikTok now?
Oh yeah. I don't do anything with it. I just look at it now. It's
now you look at it.
Yeah, sure. But I was I think I told you that I had desperately needed a bookcase, right? And so I was inundated with stuff from TikTok about that particular stuff because your phone is always listening. I never looked up bookcases or anything like that. It just started coming at me like crazy. And so I saw one that I thought was really interesting and was a pretty good deal. So I purchased it on TikTok. Have you ever purchased anything on TikTok?
Yeah, of course.
What did you get? Anything you had to assemble?
No.
Okay.
Nothing big.
Okay. So I don't know if they all come from a particular part of the country, but everything that when I got it's a big gigantic box, so it was basically like I put together like a 7-foot rotating bookcase that has like a nice little container, and then it has like 6 shelves that rotate that you can throw. It holds like 150, 200 books, and so I needed it. I started collecting a lot of books in my house, and I was like, I need to find a place for this, and that made the most sense. And so I spent yesterday afternoon putting that thing together, and I was first fairly dismayed because the instructions only offer you instructions in Chinese. There's only like 6 pictures to put this together, and the rest is all Chinese. And I'm like, I can't.
Right. Good luck, man.
Right. And so I'm like, I'm trying to piece this together. And then if you try to so I was like, maybe there's a video that can maybe help me, because again, it's probably like 40 separate pieces that you have to put together and construct. And there were 0 videos out there on how to put it together. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to use common sense, and I'm going to try to put together this gigantic bookcase. And I got to be honest, Big J, I freaking nailed it. I did. It did take me longer than I would like to admit to put it together.
You did say you're using common sense.
Probably like a 3-hour kind of project, but it was just me all by myself. It was a pretty big parts that I had to put together and had to try to balance. I did end up putting like some of the things upside down and didn't realize it because they all had holes in the same spot.
How many times did you have to go back and then
just once?
Just once? Okay.
But it was 2 pretty big parts of the bookcase. I was fairly upset at myself for not noticing it. As I was putting in the shelves, I'm like, oh, these don't match up. It's because I got 2 of the things upside down. So I did have to go back, and they only had 2 different size screws, so that made it easy. Large screw, small screw. And so through the power of
deduction.
Yes, I was able to decide which holes they go in and why they need to be there. And so I was able to construct from scratch a 7-foot bookcase with little to no instructions. I was pretty proud.
Sounds huge.
It's pretty thin. Like, I mean, it's like this thin, but it's tall and thin.
Right.
Does that make sense? So, and it's got a big old cabinet on the bottom.
What was it that appealed to you about the TikTok version of it?
Number one, it was the limited amount of space that it took up. So I was looking at like bookshelves on like Amazon and stuff like that. But
you looked up stuff on Amazon.
But I'm talking months ago.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, well, still, that's what ended up happening.
It's in the ether.
And so I looked that up, and I was thinking about putting them in my living room by my fireplace, but I was like, I've got a limited amount of space there. It would be like 2 foot of bookcase, and then I got the windows there too. So I'm like, I got a limited height that I can reach. And so I was like, I really don't know. And so I shelved it for a really long time. And then it just had popped up, and I was like, wow, it's kind of thin. It's compact. It can fit in my dining room area on the hardwood floor. And I don't have to worry about it knocking over because it's got some, width to it. So I don't have to worry about the kids toppling it over on themselves. And it held a bunch of books. So I was like, I'm just going to pull the trigger and make this purchase and see what it's like. And we'll see how long it lasts. It seems like it's pretty good quality to me. I don't know. I've never built a bookcase before.
Was it expensive?
No. I mean, it was like $110.
Okay.
For a pretty big bookcase that seemed like it was pretty sturdy. And as I was looking around for things that were like, I don't know, $180, $200, bookcases aren't cheap, man.
Yeah, no.
And so,
furniture, dude.
Yeah. And so I started looking. So that was the other thing that was like, and then there was like a TikTok coupon. I don't know. It was like $10 off or something like that.
Oh, man. They're trying to suck you in, and you're going to get inundated with more TikTok shop stuff.
But I'm just, I was fairly upset when I opened up the big gigantic box yesterday. I was like, how am I an idiot when it comes to this thing who's terrible at it?
Your track record isn't great.
It's terrible at best. But I did it. I pieced it all together, and I'm pretty happy with myself.
Well,
so
congratulations, man.
I'll take the W, and I'll let you know when eventually it does completely fall apart.
It just collapses.
Yeah. I'll let you know. Some of those screws went in a little too easy. Morning After with Nick and Big J. Coming up in a few minutes, we got ourselves a nerd alert, courtesy of Big J. That's next on the X Rocks.
Here's traffic inside.
Nick Talk.
The best in tech and gaming. Big J's Nerd Alert on 100.3 The X Rocks.
Hey, if you spend a lot of time on YouTube, you're probably familiar with all the ads that pop up. Well, they have introduced a new subscription option for viewing with reduced ads compared with its pricey ad-free premium plans. The Premium Lite plan is rolling out in the U.S. starting yesterday. It costs $8 per month compared with $14 for the premium. All users in YouTube's pilot markets of Australia, Germany, and Thailand will gain access to Premium Lite in the coming weeks. Now, most videos will be available without ads under the subscription, such as podcasts, gaming, fashion, beauty, and news content. But the company is treating music content differently since it's part of YouTube Music, so it won't count for that. But if you'd like to watch the morning after video podcast ad-free, here's an option for you. Nice and relatively inexpensive.
Another subscription service.
And you know what? I've become really like, I barely notice. I mean, I wish there was a special button to hit for the skip when I'm watching YouTube.
There is.
No, I mean that I can just have on my hand, not have it connected to a mouse or something. It's a real pain in the butt. But that's a personal problem. Huge news here. If you're into skateboarding and you love Tony Hawk, the legendary skateboarding franchise is back for another round of remasters with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, bringing the two classic entries to the modern era, available for pre-order now. It's the same vein as the 2021's remasters of Tony Hawk's Skater 1 and 2. Modern graphics, familiar gameplay, but this time it's being done by a different developer. As far as content goes, it will feature the all skate parks from both games, as well as a new one, Nick, teased at the end of the trailer reveal for Tony Hawk's 3 and 4. It's a new level called Water Park, and it looks like a large abandoned water park. A lot of verticality, rides, ramps, railings, all of that stuff. Skaters from previous remasters will return. In addition, a batch of newcomers. Now, while it's configured that there will be new songs for the soundtrack, they have yet to be revealed. However, we know several songs you might remember. One of the reasons why these were so huge. You've got Motorhead in there, CKY, and a few others to note. So it's a new level and really kind of a new peek at what a new Tony Hawk game could be with this extra level. There'll be cross-play platform online multiplayer for up to 8 players and a robust version of the Create a Park mode where players can make and share their own custom skate park. So that's pretty huge. The standard version is going to be $49.99. Deluxe version is $69.99, which comes with Doom Slayer and Renovant skater skins. All of that stuff is going to be available. So look out if you're into the skating thing and enjoy yourself. It'll be interesting to see what kind of songs end up on new songs end up on that soundtrack.
Yeah, they got to kind of be sonically in line with the other stuff, I would imagine. So,
well, right now a lot of those bands are having huge reunions and out there on the tours and stuff. So we will see. I don't know if you're into wrestling games, but WWE 2K25 is coming out very soon. It's already going to launch, by the way, with a huge roster of characters, over 300 names deep, with superstars from the past and present. The newly revealed season pass lineup is going to be even better. And here's the thing. So they lined out all of the DLCs that are going to come out. The one in particular that is really intriguing doesn't come out until next year. But the final wave there will be a blast from the past, the 80s, Nick, when we were kids. Jesse the Body Ventura.
Oh, man.
Paul, Mr. Wonderful Orndorff. The Junkyard Dog, man. Tito Santana.
That's basically a laundry list of the people that showed up in my backyard one night.
Yeah, you could relive that whole night, I'm sure, and do like a role play thing all together. Put a little Nick in there. Also, you've got Sid Vicious and Psycho Sid, so it's going to be an interesting thing that they're doing. The game comes out on the 14th, but if you pre-order ahead, it comes out tomorrow.
Very nice.
So it's been a while since I played some WWE, and there's a whole list of, there's new stuff. The NXT wrestlers, all of those folks are all in here. I'm not familiar with most of them. So.
Yeah, no, I tried a couple years ago. Just the gameplay wasn't for me. But hey, listen, if you're into it, you're into it, man.
Yeah, I feel like I'm trying to remember when I was in my cousin's in Atlanta visiting. We grew up. We played a wrestling game, and I don't remember what it was, but we just had a big blast of playing it. I wish I could remember the game, but you could use like tables and chairs and stuff to hit each other.
Yeah,
this is the best, man.
Was it an NES game?
I think so. Yeah,
where there was like 6 generic wrestlers to choose from. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly.
Sometimes those games can have their place, and it can be super fun. But look out for WWE 2K25. There's your nerd alert.
Thank you very much, Big J. Reminder, coming up on Friday, that's tomorrow, 9 o'clock, be our guest to Il Sugo Italian Kitchen in Meridian. If you're looking for some absolutely amazing Italian cuisine, then Il Sugo is the place to be. They've got locally sourced pasta. They got homemade sauces. So check it out for yourself, and you can grab $50 worth of it for just $25 for these limited time gift certificates. So check it out. It goes live 9 o'clock tomorrow morning at xrock.com. And when they sell out, they're gone. So grab them early and grab them while you can. We invite you to be our guest this Friday, 9 o'clock at xrock.com to Il Sugo Italian Kitchen in Meridian. We got ourselves some important stuff and Going to Hell coming up on the X.
After with Nick and Big J.
Big J, it's probably not a surprise that people are pretty protective of their children when it comes to social media. Turns out about 60% of parents with kids aged 2 to 18 admit to carefully being careful as to what they put on their social media accounts when it comes to their kids. The research poll on behalf of a whole bunch of different services found out that 62% are trying to not post so much about their kids on social media and worry more about, quote, real moments instead. Like if you catch your kid doing something funny, instead of having it captured on your phone, you actually have that memory. And that's something that you kind of reflect back on in your head. And being a parent is, messy, imperfect, Big J, all those things. But it's also, pretty rewarding if you want it to be. And the kind of parent you are kind of depends on how you want to attack that situation.
Yeah.
So if you enjoy those kind of moments, maybe, just maybe, it's a lot like concerts, Big J. Putting down your phone and living in the moment and creating those memories is sometimes what makes those stand the test of time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
And I think, if you are a parent and social media the way that it is, it's probably best to err on the side of caution. Nobody's here to tell you what you should or shouldn't do or what's right or wrong. Everybody has their own way of doing it. But, I think having that sense of privacy, maybe, and those kind of moments with your kids is important. We're still living in a time where you're going to have far more pictures of your children now than we did when we were growing up. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
And whether you post or not, those pictures will remain with you forever. You can still take pictures with your phone or capture moments. It's just that extra step of throwing it on the interwebs for everybody to see is kind of thrown into question a little bit. Not that there's anything wrong with that if that's how you want to do it, but there's certainly some pros and cons of each aspect of it, and to each their own. That's what I say, Big J. Pretty big day for defensive ends in the world of the NFL yesterday. Let's start with the interesting news. The Los Angeles Chargers released Joey Bosa, their 7-year veteran, the 5-time Pro Bowler, probably the staple of their defensive line for the last 7 years. Certainly one of the better Chargers ever.
Yeah, also the staple of their IR list.
Yeah, he's been banged up a little bit.
A lot.
And so they are letting him go and saving $25 million on the cap. And so now he is available out there for somebody that wants to bolster their defensive line with the understanding that, maybe he's banged up. Do you see him joining his brother in San Francisco, Big J?
Well, they can't afford anybody right now, so who knows unless he wants to give out a family deal.
Lots of offseason rumors about maybe Max Crosby could be traded. That was shut up yesterday after he signed a huge extension, making him one of the highest paid defensive players in the NFL, certainly one of the highest paid non-quarterbacks in the National Football League. And Max Crosby isn't going anywhere. He's staying with the Las Vegas Raiders. Probably a good move. He's a guy that wants to be there, enjoys being there, and feels like he could be the cornerstone of that franchise who maybe struggles to have some identity, at least right now. But he wants to stick with Pete Carroll, and so that's going to happen. Probably a good move for the Raiders, even though it's a ton of money, right?
It's a ton of money, but I mean, there are two players that you want to have drafted that are key and essential to your team. Quarterback on the offense, and I think an edge rusher on defense is somebody you need to have, and he's one of the best.
Yeah, he certainly is one of the best. So he's not going anywhere. Raiders fans, I'm sure, are very, very happy about that. Big day yesterday as well, if you like concert announcements, man. The Aftershock, which is a festival we have a wonderful relationship with, is happening once again in Sacramento. It's happening October 2nd through the 5th at Discovery Park in California. We will once again be sending people to the Aftershock Festival, and they announced their full lineup yesterday. Headlined by Blink-182, the Deftones, Korn, and Bring Me the Horizon over 4 nights. It's a pretty big day. October 2nd's got Blink-182, Good Charlotte, All Time Low, All American Rejects, Hollywood Undead, High on Fire, and the Ataris. We'll call that the pop-punk day, Big J. October 3rd's got Deftones, A Perfect Circle, Turnstile, Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden, Of Mice and Men, Lacuna Coil, and a ton more. Then October 4th has got Korn, Bad Omens, 3 Days Grace, Chevelle, Trivium, Kitty, Memphis Made Fire, 7 Hours After Violet, and Saliva. And then it wraps up October 5th with Bring Me the Horizon, Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson, Mudvayne, Motionless in White, In This Moment, Black Veil Brides, Lacey Sturman, Flyleaf, Crossfade, Pop Evil, Hinder, Sleep Theory. So it's another 4-day banger of a festival.
Yeah,
if you want to
huge.
check out the complete lineup, you can do so on the X's social media. We posted it when it was announced yesterday. Very excited to be teaming up with these guys. And a reminder to kind of keep a close eye on that particular lineup, because those are the bands we usually get coming and going that kind of litter us throughout the month of October. So something to keep in mind as well. As you look down that list and go, man, maybe it'd be cool if that band could pop by. You never know. You never know who could be stopping by before or after Aftershock.
Plan on taking off all of October.
Or working incredibly long hours to save up the money that you need in order to get the tickets that you're going to need for October. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We got your We're Going to Hell story coming up next on the X Rocks.
Light. Stories that are incredibly f***ed up. Oh, man, we're going to hell.
What the hell is this?
The Morning After with Nick and Big J on 100.3 The X Rocks.
Today's We're Going to Hell story can be issued like a warning, Big J. Don't let a work friend turn into a work enemy. You understand?
Yeah, of course.
You never know when things are going to go sideways. And that's exactly how I would, I guess, describe today's story as going. We are headed to Brazil at a textile shop there in that particular country. And we have an incident last month at a factory there in Abadia de Goiás. It is a small town near one of the larger cities in Brazil. But police claim that a couple of work friends started to have a relationship go sour. A couple of women that worked there used to be the best of friends. They would hang out on a regular basis. They would go out and do stuff. They seemed to get along both on the clock and off the clock, and everything was great, grand, and awesome, right?
Yeah.
But then things got a little sour and turned real bad when one of the women was offered a promotion at the textile plant, and the other felt like maybe it was something that she deserved instead. So, of course, you know there's only one way to react to this situation, Big J.
Yeah, murder the other person.
Police claim that the 38-year-old suspect was caught on CCTV cameras tampering with another woman's drink container before the latter drank from it and started to feel a burning sensation in her throat. Subsequent analysis of the container found a high concentration of a very potent textile solvent in the water, which strongly suggests that the perpetrator was trying to poison their coworker, Big J.
I mean, I was only kidding. Jeez.
Well, this is We're Going to Hell. There's no kidding on We're Going to Hell.
You're right.
Witnesses testified that the two women used to be friends, but their relationship went sideways. Then they started fighting all the time and allegedly had an argument prior to the solvent poisoning. Local police told reporters that the 38-year-old suspect had also entered an exclusive management area where the company's chemical products were located. Despite lacking authorization, it is believed that this is when she got her hands on the solvent. After drinking from the tainted container and sensing something was wrong, the victim called an ambulance and she was rushed to the hospital for treatment. She has since made a full recovery, but doctors said that if she would have taken one more drink of that solvent, game over, man.
Damn.
She would have been dead. So police arrested the suspect last week after checking the CCTV cameras for clues on the poisoning. She reportedly admitted to tampering with her coworker's container following an argument. She will be basically charged with attempted murder, which carries a sentence of anywhere from 20 to 36 years in prison there in Brazil. So watch out. Now, remember, this is not the only time somebody's been caught poisoning coworkers for bad reasons. Last year, we talked about the woman that poisoned her coworker that was pregnant because she didn't want her workload to get a little bit heavier. You remember that?
I vaguely, yeah.
And so this is now another in a line of issues that we have with coworkers trying to poison one another, Big J.
Yeah. No, me, I'm more like a super protector of you. The last thing I need is something to happen to you.
I don't know about that.
It means more work.
But, it is, what they don't get into is what, set off this relationship. It used to be good, then it went bad. something obviously happened. It could have just been about that promotion, because apparently they were arguing for a fairly long time leading up to this promotion. Not that there's any justifiable reason for somebody poisoning your water and then hoping you drink solvent out of it. But it certainly is a situation where that's not an ideal work environment. You know what I mean?
Listen, man, friends and stuff, sometimes you can feel slighted and it can turn bad real fast. It seems to happen more amongst female friends, though.
Oh, listen to this. Hot take. How come?
I don't know. Their interpersonal things are always competing with each other. You hear these things when women talk about their friendships, right?
Well, not when they're friends. No, I don't hear them talking about how things are overly competitive.
I don't know. I mean, when you have I think a lifelong friendship, different than when you start to meet somebody in the middle of your life, and then I don't know. Some things get crazy.
Certainly gives a new definition to toxic workplace, though, when somebody's poisoning your water, Big J.
With poison toxic textiles.
Yeah, that is definitely an HR complaint for sure.
And no wonder she didn't make it up the rung. She's already going into places she doesn't belong.
Here's traffic.
ACDC Highway to Hell here on the morning after with Nick and Big J. 2 days in a row we have world premieres. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. This is a good one.
Get everything ready. Move that. Move.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a world premiere exclusive.
Big J, what are we hearing the world premiere of, sir?
New music from Volbeat and a song called By a Monster's Hand.
Enjoy. Big day for Volbeat. That is their brand new song, By a Monster's Hand. One of the many things that they have rolled out today. Big J, agree or disagree?
Yes, along with a tour, a world tour that they'll be going on, which is kicking off in Denver. Unfortunately, not making a stop here in the Treasure Valley on this leg anyways. And it's got Hailstorm on it, the Ghost Inside. It would be a pretty kick-ass, tour stop that, again, starts in Denver in July. We've got a new album coming in June, God of Angels, Trust, and it's a lot of the inspiration and base of the song comes from serial killers, Nick.
Yeah, as you can tell from the video they released for that song today as well, it is definitely littered with a bunch of serial killer imagery, Big J. And if you look at the track listing for the songs on that album, there's some dark imagery and some weird stuff going on there, man. But, hey, it's Volbeat, new stuff from them, first new stuff from a really long time. And I, for one, really like the song, Big J. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's got a lot of thrash elements in there. Of course, Caggiano not in the band. I'm not sure how much the new guy is contributing as far as guitar riffs and stuff like that. But either way, I mean, it's a giddy up and go for me.
Yeah, it's always a good day when you hear some new Volbeat. That is for sure. Morning After with Nick and Big J. Important stuff as well as Pop Culture Smackdown on the way on the X.
Here's
She a legend.
Important stuff.
What's going on in the news today?
The morning after with Nick and Big J.
Big J, when you go to the gym, what's your favorite kind of exercises to do? What do you
I don't
like
go
do?
to the gym, bro.
Huh? Well, then you may not know this particular stat, but it turns out that when ladies go to the gym, 43% never ever lift weights. That, according to a research study of those who have lifted at the gym, 55% feel intimidated and worry about how they look. 42% lack the confidence to do in front of other people. So it really breaks down to how we feel about ourselves once again, Big J. Particularly women that are out there, which is sad, unfortunate, and holds a mirror up to society. Agree or disagree?
I mean, sure, yeah.
But people...
There's multiple things. I don't know if included in that is just the fact that also you got dudes gawking at them. Creeps. Yeah. The creep factor is pretty large.
Well, I mean, it truly is about, challenging themselves in a lot of different ways. And yeah, that's part of it, but I'm not sure if that has anything to do with lifting weights or so. You know what I mean? I think that's just gym life in general, because there are creepy dudes everywhere you go.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I mean, they already got to get. They already have that one challenge before anybody else gets to the gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. But regardless of what it is, they're trying to let you kind of know that you shouldn't let anything mentally get in the way of you doing what you want to do if you're at the gym. If you want to go there and you want to bulk up and lift some weights, knock yourself out. It's about mental resilience and challenging workouts and all those kind of things. And maybe it can help us realize that women can break any barrier, Big J.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Agreed.
So whatever it is you're looking to do, get the most out of your time. Don't let anybody get in your way, and just knock it out of the park, ladies. We believe in you. I believe in you. I don't know. I can't speak for Big J.
No, I believe in them as well.
A Michigan football season ticket holder is suing the school after they locked his 164 season tickets from being sold through the secondary market. The university started a new policy where season ticket holders cannot purchase them for the sole purpose of reselling them, and limited each person to a total of 8 accounts. Well, somebody is pissed off about that, Big J. His name is Kevin Brick, and he is firing a suit against Michigan that unilaterally challenges its terms and conditions without the consent of the knowledge of the base of fans. And Brick is seeking $2 million in damages and predicts he'll be losing anywhere from $2.5 to $3.5 million in revenue each year as a result of the new policy. Wham!
Wow.
Cry me a river,
Yeah.
bro.
Jeez.
Maybe don't be a scalper, and I'd have a little bit more sympathy for you. But this will be interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, listen, like it or not, scalping is part of the free market. You agree on that, BJ?
Yeah.
It's capitalism at its best. And so the question becomes, is it okay to do this? Because the Green Bay Packers also enacted this same policy in the offseason, which is if they find out you're selling all of your tickets to all of the games, because the season ticket holder list is so long, they will boot you off that list. So
that's a tough list to get on, man.
Yeah, so if they're scanning a bunch of different kind of people into it and you're just using it to sell them through and make money on them, they don't like that. And Michigan football has plenty of fans that want to go to the games as well. They don't want to see their fans getting ripped off by scalpers, but sometimes scalpers the only way you can go to these games, Big J. Especially if you're from out of town, you want to do a one-off.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if not for scalpers, I would not have seen a Packers game my entire life up until I got some press passes, Big J. That's just the way that it worked.
Yep.
And so, unfortunately, it's part of the sports-going community. We'll see how this works out. And I imagine there's probably a ton of money to be made doing these things. If you're on the season ticket list for these, you know, big-time games like, you know, at Michigan or at Ohio State or Green Bay or any of those things that sell out traditionally, that's serious money in your pocket, man. Looks like layoffs are coming to Sesame Street as well, Big J.
Oh, no.
Yep. Looks like Oscar the Grouch is going to be hanging a shingle outside of that trash can of his and see how it's going to work. But the Sesame Workshop is reducing staff as it faces uncertainty over the future of Sesame Street. Of course, Warner Brothers Discovery decided not to renew it as its distribution deal. So the Hollywood Reporter is reporting that layoffs are necessary to ensure the organization's future, despite the painful impact on employees. With production on season 56 starting next month, the show is still seeking a new TV or streaming partner. Season 56 will introduce a new format, replacing the magazine-style structure that HBO and Warner Brothers asked for Sesame Street, and going back into narrative-driven segments, as well as some animated portions of the show. The season will also feature a signature song tied to each episode's theme, so they're keeping with the Sesame Street fun, but they're still looking for a home, and we'll see where it ends up. I feel like somebody has to pick up Sesame Street, right?
Yeah, you would think.
I mean, 56 years, it's an institution at this point. You did not grow up on Sesame Street, right? That's not the show that you watched?
I've watched it on occasion, but it wasn't a regular.
Man, I watched it on the regular. It was something that I was locked into on a pretty consistent basis, and I'd be pretty bummed out. My kids as well. I'd be bummed out if there was nowhere for Sesame Street to do its thing. That would be really, really sad.
Yeah.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. We got your Pop Culture Smackdown. It's next on the X.
Pop Culture Smackdown. Right. On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Fantastic morning after prize package here as we have got a couple pairs of tickets for things. We'll hook you up with a pair of tour tickets for touring the old state penitentiary. They have an awesome extended tour of the Hidden Cemetery coming up. It's just beyond the prison walls. The tour is happening on the 15th through the 23rd, so it's going to be pretty dang cool. We'll get you lined up with those tickets. And Monday the 17th, St. Patrick's Day at the Revolution Concert House and Event Center is Killswitch Engage and Fit for a King. It's going to be fantastic. All of this can be yours if you can beat Nick in Pop Culture Smackdown.
208-287-1003 if you'd like this prize package. You can get all gothy at the cemetery and then get all metally at the Rev Center with Killswitch Engage. All you have to do is win Pop Culture Smackdown. Good luck to everybody. Big J, are you ready?
I'm ready, man.
Then to the phones we go. Hello, the X.
You're right.
How's it going?
How you doing, man? What's your name?
Good start.
Yep, you there?
Yes.
What's your name, man?
Zach?
All right, Zach, you're up first. Good luck.
What NBA team drafted Shaquille O'Neal? Was it the Philadelphia 76ers, the Orlando Magic, or the New York Knicks?
Orlando Magic.
That's correct. Nick, today is Shaquille O'Neal's birthday.
Oh.
Shaq starred in a DC comic book movie before superhero movies were cool in the 90s, Nick. Do you remember what the movie was?
That was called Steel.
Yeah, indeed it was.
Terrible movie.
Most comic book movies in the 90s were terrible. Walter White, a character on the TV show Breaking Bad, had another name. What was it? Rickenbacker, Heisenberg, or the Condor?
Heisenberg.
Heisenberg is correct. Nick, Bryan Cranston, no stranger to Emmy nominations, was nominated for playing this character in Malcolm in the Middle.
Malcolm's dad.
Yeah, what was his name?
Oh, you and character name questions. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never watched Malcolm in the Middle. I
You
cannot
never
tell you.
watched Malcolm in the Middle?
I cannot tell you. No.
Okay.
I know Malcolm. That's the only one that I know off of that show. What was it?
How?
Right. What are you doing, Dave? Congratulations, man. You got yourself tickets to go check out Killswitch Engage. You're also going to go check out that really cool old Penn Cemetery walk tour as well. Hang on 1 second, Zach. We'll hook you up with everything that you need to know. Morning After with Nick and Big J. Coming up in a few minutes, we got your headlines. Those are next on the X Rocks. Brought to you by Be Our Guest. We want you to be our guest this Friday, 9 o'clock at xrock.com. An opportunity for you to check out Il Sugo Italian Kitchen there in Meridian. If you haven't tried it out, it is awesome right there on McMillan. And you can get yourself some authentic Italian comfort food that's got some locally sourced pasta as well as some house-made sauces. And now an expanded menu, too, with some great seafood dishes as well. So if you want shrimp scampi or some salmon, whatever you're looking for, they got you covered. And we allow you to grab $50 worth of Il Sugo for just $25. It goes live tomorrow, 9 o'clock, xrock.com. Limited supply. Once they're gone, they're gone. So grab them while you can and grab yourself some authentic and awesome Italian food at Il Sugo Italian Kitchen in Meridian for just $25 tomorrow. Be our guest at xrock.com. Headlines are as follows. Good luck passing that. Dream gig and mistakes were made.
Dream gig.
Would you like to take a job looking for the Loch Ness Monster, Big J?
No.
Well, the Loch Ness Centre in Scotland is looking for a full-time Nessie hunter, and they want them to join the team beginning on March 31st. Responsibilities include operating the Loch Ness Centre's deep scan vessel, running trips carrying visitors, and maintaining the vessel. In addition to searching for the legendary monster, applicants are expected to ensure the safety of all passengers. Other positions available for those who don't have boating skills as well, but this apparently they give you underwater tours of the Loch Ness if you want to see if you can find the monster for yourself, Big J.
Yeah, you won't. It isn't there.
What?
Sorry.
Don't ruin the fun. What's the matter with you?
Ridiculous. You've got teams of people out there searching. You can't find one monster.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. Also, I mean, no offense, but, you know, going underwater in very small submersibles isn't exactly high on my list lately, so if you want to go ahead and do that,
Well,
knock
it's not
yourself
going
out.
down to the Titanic, bro.
No, I'm not saying. I get it. I'm just saying, like,
I think that's your nightmare.
What's
Going
that?
into submersible.
No, I've got no problem with water or being on a boat, or I don't even think I'd have a problem being on a submarine. It's hard to say. I've never been in a submersible, so I don't really know how I would react to it. But I can't think of a situation where I would completely freak out. So the thought doesn't scare me, if that's the inclination.
Yeah,
It's just,
a man without fear.
I don't. Well,
I
that's
love
not
it.
true. I have got lots of fear,
Oh.
but that submersible is not one of them. Just not high on my list of things to do to go underwater in Loch Ness. Good luck passing that, or mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made.
A Florida man was kicked out of his home he was staying at, wound up getting himself arrested as well over a stupid text message that he sent to the homeowner. Sheriff's deputies in Holmes County responded to a homeowner's call for help in removing a man who'd been staying there. They arrived at the scene and escorted Christopher Newton off the property, but deputies hung around the house for a little while, and moments later, Newton sent a text to the homeowner letting him know that he, quote, left a baggie on the nightstand. Deputies, of course, found that baggie. What do you think was in the baggie, Big J?
I mean, it's got to be like meth.
Coke. It's cocaine.
Coke or meth, yeah.
They caught up to Newton and placed him under arrest for possession. The sheriff's office later posted on social media, if you're going to leave something behind, make sure it's not illegal drugs and don't text anybody about it.
Yeah, just deny. Be like, that ain't mine.
What?
You would never be able to prove it. Like, why would you? Ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it is in the house he was staying at.
Sure, but I mean, you know.
Wrap it up with good luck passing that. An alleged jewelry thief reportedly swallowed $770,000 worth of Tiffany earrings shortly before being arrested.
Delicious.
Florida man Jonathan Gilder told Tiffany and Company employees that he was a representative of an NBA team and was taken to a VIP room to examine high-end jewelry. A real uncut gem situation here. However, after a struggle, Glider then ran off with what police believe are 2 earrings, according to Detective Aaron Goss, that were worth a little under $1 million. As he was being taken into custody, then Glider swallowed the merchandise. A scan taken at Washington County Jail discovered foreign objects in his stomach. The Glider has been booked on suspicion of grand theft, and the items have yet to be recovered, Big J. But you know how they're coming out, right?
Yeah. Out the rear end.
Yeah.
Diamond pooping.
Poop them out.
I mean, you don't think they're going to take you to the hospital? They're going to get that stuff out of you?
Yeah, no, he's not going to be able to keep them no matter what.
Right.
I mean, at the very least, that's going to be something that he's not going to have inside of him very long. But it does feel like he's delaying the inevitable, you know? I mean, we have the technology to see if there's foreign objects in people at this point. So if you decide to get rid of the evidence that way, it's going to be you'd be better off chucking it down the road and trying to find it later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But sometimes, Big J, when we're under pressure, we don't think clearly.
Okay, you're right.
When the cops are chasing, you're like,
Yeah.
I got to get rid of this as quickly as possible.
I forget that part.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your headlines. You're up to date on everything. It is the X-Rocks. That is Tool. That is Sober here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Big J, how's the home life these days, my friend?
It's challenging.
Why? Why?
Because here's the thing. So, for years, I've been holding on to this idea of a segment on the show where I get graded on my weekend. I mean, it's been that long in the coming. And you know what? The wife and I, we love to tease each other. I mean, I think that makes a really fun and good relationship. And so we give each other a hard time 90% of the time. I mean, we just, we have a lot of fun when we're together. And so, I thought, hey, this will be great. She's fantastic. She's very smart, and it would be perfect kind of combo to have a segment like that for the morning show. And it's been immensely popular and has worked out really well. Big J's Weekend Grade. But she's taken it super seriously and taken me to task on stuff, Nick. So like this last weekend, she gave me an A. Yeah. I was like surprised by it. But, I had made a couple cracks. One of them was like, I thought that I had carried these pavers from our backyard 25 yards. I knew it wasn't 25 yards. Like, come on. I know distance and...
Yeah, because she said it was like
20
10
feet.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, it's 25 yards, right? I got to milk some of this a little bit. She broke one of our tape measures, measuring. Because here's what happened. She didn't realize this.
She wants to be right.
Yeah, she wants to be right. It runs in the family. And she also didn't realize where I was putting the pavers. I screwed up. We had a miscommunication. I thought that she wanted them in a certain place. And she's like, no, that's where the sprinklers are. This is going to get ruined. And I'm like, I thought that somebody was coming to pick these pavers up. And the distance between where the paver should go is much shorter, Nick. And I don't, so that's an A+. I don't have to worry about that. But she was like, I would give you a totally different grade now. And I'm like, great. but she got out the tape measure to measure the difference.
How long was
It's
it?
25 feet. And I'm like,
He was right on the
and
nose.
I said, you needed a tape measure for that? We're on a walk with the dogs yesterday. And I'm like, you could just walk it out. You don't need the tape measure to get an exact measurement.
I think she wanted to figure out how wrong you were, is what it boils down
So
to.
I mean, I have to be really careful about what I say because it's just
Hey,
hanging over.
To your credit, you did not have to do a correction segment. I mean, it could have just went on like you said, 25 yards. She said 25 feet.
But I'm like, she broke something just trying to prove me wrong.
And now
I don't even care that I was wrong to begin with. I'm like, 25 yards? Come on.
And now you have to move a bunch of the papers that you
Yeah,
already
now
moved.
I got to move.
Yeah.
That's only a couple feet, but I'm like, man.
Maybe it's a couple yards.
It's like 5 or 10 yards.
But still, you have to move all the ones you already moved, which
I
is
still
still a
know
bummer.
the end game. I guess we're going to reuse these pavers at some point somewhere, but either way.
Another project for another day, Big J. But
Another weekend.
I'm sorry she's holding you to the fire on some of these things.
Well,
but you should expect nothing less, to be honest.
Yes. And it's like the weekly moments where it's like, she just gives me a look like, oh, crap. That's going on my permanent list, man.
But
permanent record.
You never know. She's unpredictable because I bet you bottom dollar coming into Monday, you never would have guessed you would have got an A, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's absolutely.
Sometimes things go in your direction.
Just put in some effort, I guess, is the bottom line.
For you, is what you're saying.
Yeah, or most people.
Got it. Morning After with Nick and Big J. Coming up in a few minutes, your bad impressions. That's next on the X Rock.
Bad impressions.
So far, I'm not impressed.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Yeah, Monday the 17th, that's St. Patrick's Day. St. Patty's Day. It's going to be a hell of a show at the Rev Center. Kill Switch Engage, Fit for a King. And you know what? Tickets still available, by the way, if you want to purchase tickets and you can't seem to get through and win. But we'll give you a chance right here if you can solve the riddle that is bad impressions. I'll give an impression of somebody famous with 3 clues, and if you can guess who it is, boom, you're in.
Big J explained it all. All you need is the phone number, 208-287-1003, if you'd like to play the game. It is a celebrity today?
It is a celebrity.
All right, well, best of luck to everybody involved. Hello, the X.
Hey,
what's up, man? What's your name?
Mike.
All right, Mike, you're up first. Good luck.
I played some cool characters. Willie, Steamin' Beamin', Django, and Electro.
Next one.
I won an Oscar for playing real-life legend Ray Charles in the movie Ray.
Give me the next one.
I had a blast working with Cameron Diaz in my latest movie, Back in Action on Netflix.
Oh, I know who it is. I just can't think of his name.
Is the important part of this.
Yeah, kind of the game, Mike.
Oh, man.
Mike.
It doesn't help, does it? Us cheering them on like that.
It might. It might give him a second to jump on Google.
Yeah.
What do you got,
I
man?
don't know it.
Nothing? All
I
right.
don't know.
Sorry, brother. Thank you for playing.
Nice try, though.
We appreciate you. Hello, the X.
Hello.
Hey, did you hear Big J's clues or do you need him again?
I need him again.
I played some cool characters, Willie, Steamin' Beamin', Django, and Electro. I won an Oscar for playing real-life legend Ray Charles in the movie Ray. And I had a blast working with Cameron Diaz in my latest movie, Back in Action on Netflix.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's Jamie Foxx.
That's Jamie Foxx!
Nailed it, man. Kill Switch Engage tickets are yours. Hang on just 1 second. We will get you all the details you need. Why is Jamie Foxx in the news?
He has signed a multi-year deal with Fox Entertainment Studios, granting first-look rights to his scripted material, Nick, and exclusive rights to his unscripted projects.
Oh.
He'll immediately be developing new projects for Fox, which is weird. His last name's Fox.
Fox.
He hosts a show called Beat Shazam, and he's executive producer of Alert Missing Persons Unit, and he wants to continue this long-working relationship with the network. So, that's the thing. Some of these Hollywood moguls, I mean, Jamie Foxx can do it all. I mean, he has a pretty healthy catalog of music. He produces and is building most of these shows and is making money hand over fist doing that part, aside from starring in movies.
Yeah. I don't know if he's ever written an actual, feature kind of project.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he did some writing on, the Jamie Foxx show back in the day, but whatever it is, good for him. Congratulations. And I'm sure we'll see more of him in the future. Have you ever watched that Beat Shazam show?
No, but I understand how it works. You're going to beat Shazam.
Okay. Cool. Morning
Have
After
you?
with Nick. No, I haven't. I mean, that's not, it's not the kind of game shows that I like to kind of enjoy. And plus, it's not really my wheelhouse. Does that make sense?
Right. Well, yeah. So not a lot of rock music going down.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your bad impressions. We will wrap up the show here next on the X Rock.
Live, loud, and ready to...
That's our friend Chris Daughtry. That is the Dam here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. That's going to wrap up the show here for this Thursday. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We did have a chance to give away some Killswitch Engage tickets. That should continue on your Friday broadcast, as well as get a nerd alert courtesy of Big J over the course of the show today, and even told you a little bit about how maybe you should watch your back if you've got an enemy that you work with at work or somebody you don't get along with. You never know when they're going to poison your water. So if you're at work and you got somebody that doesn't like you and your throat starts to burn, watch out. Things probably aren't going well for you.
No.
And you can use today's We're Going to Hell story as a warning. Big J, that leaves you with the floor, sir.
All right. Today is National Oreo Cookie Day, Nick. How you eat your Oreo cookie? You dunk in, you're taking it apart. How does it work?
When I was young, I was a twister and a dunker. So yeah, I would take it apart and then I would dunk it. But it has been a very long time since I have partaken in Oreos. And when I last did, it was the peanut butter kind, and I just ate them like a regular cookie. So I may have grown out of my twisting and dunking days. How about you?
Yeah, I'm a dunker. You dunk them in some milk.
You have milk readily available at the Big J house?
Yeah, of course.
Who drinks milk? Or do you
We
just
all
use
do.
it for cooking?
No, we all do.
Like when you get really hot, you just grab a glass of milk?
No, I like every now and then I like having a glass of milk.
Nice.
Delicious.
Unless, it's a rare occasion at the Nick house. I'm a water drinker, so that's usually what I knock out. But hey, I don't have Oreos that much either. How often are you eating those?
Not very often.
Do you have a favorite flavor now that there's 9 billion different Oreos out there?
Yeah, I like the vanilla ones. Or
Aren't they the normal kind?
Well, no. The I forget the name of them, but the golden ones.
Sure. And now you know why that's your favorite. You can't remember the name.
I don't eat them very often.
Next set of X-Rock brought to you by
Jesus.
Beacon Plumbing for tank and tankless water heaters, clogged drains, leaky faucets, and toilets that won't flush. Stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical, your trusted plumbing source. Online at beaconplumbing.com. That is it for us. Jason Drew is up next. Have a good one. It's the X-Rock.